It's 5 o'clock, and we can start the meeting of the Historic District Review Board. We have a moment of silence and stand and pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, liberty and justice for all. Be seated.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Okay, we have 20 minutes to complete the process.
You picked a really good day.
So we can't talk a lot. Okay. First one is 221 Taswell, fence proposition. Oh, no.
Good afternoon. How's everyone?
How are you today?
Good. 221 Taswell. Kim Starr's the owner. She'd like to put a fence in the rear of the yard. There's currently a 6-foot fence along the west side of the property that's been there for a while. I think the adjacent owners put it up. She would like to match the style of the existing fence from the rear corner of her house back on the east side and across the rear of the property line. It would match, they're called French Gothic pickets. And then she would like to add 2 gates by the existing shed, which are a little bit of a different design, and create a parking space in the rear of her property. And then she's going to add 1 gate at the right corner of the house.
Correct.
4x4 pressure-treated posts. We'd like to use cedar caps just because they'll wear better, and the gates will also be cedar. But the pickets will be pressure-treated because that's really all we've been able to find available right now with the supply chain.
The one that you have designated in the
Correct.
brochure, in the
Correct.
paper?
Correct. No, those are cedar. Those are those gates. I'm able to
Right.
find those custom.
Yeah.
But the actual pickets that match the west side of the property, I can only find them in pressure-treated. She also would like to allow them to go natural because it's a very large
This
pine.
is the one you're using, though, correct?
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
There will be double gates in the back, and then there'll be a 3-foot gate in the front corner of the house.
Correct.
And she does want to allow them to weather naturally because she's got a very large pine tree in the back that just makes it impossible to keep paint on anything.
Yeah, I'm glad to see she left the tree.
Yes, we did leave the tree.
Yeah.
Some of them actually, Anik pulled out a few of them because they were wrapped up in the wires, but we were able to keep that one.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Discussion?
No, it looks fine to me. I make a motion to approve as is.
Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Awesome. Have a good evening.
Good to see you again.
Come back to the minutes. Let's see if we can get most
Are you
of
straight?
this done.
Are we
We're
good?
gonna come back to the consent agenda in a second.
Good what?
We'll do the consent agenda in a second, so let's keep going. We're at 509 Monroe Avenue. They're seeking an after-the-fact approval for a certificate of appropriateness to install a fence.
Correct.
And while you're getting him on the phone, we're gonna then also dovetail into the next item on the agenda, which is also with Mr. Mason at 509 Monroe. It is supposed to be Monroe Avenue, sorry about that.
You have,
To replace the existing metal roof with a shingle roof. So we are getting him on the line to participate in this.
this is the metal roof that you and I talked about.
Mr. Mason, can you hear us? Hello, Mr. Mason, can you hear us?
Make sure it's not on mute.
Can you hear us, Mr. Mason?
Mr. Mason, this is Herb Tom with the Historic District Review Board.
Hi, Eric, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
So,
You want to put a metal roof on?
no, we're gonna do the fence first.
But-
Sorry. So we're gonna take up the after-the-fact certificate of appropriateness for a new fence in the front yard. In one of our compliance checks through the town, our zoning compliance officer, Ken Buda, noted that there is a fence that had been installed, a 42-inch tall fence across the front yard, extending to a point approximately 1/3 of the way down the east side of the house and 2/3 of the way down the west side of the house. We did reach out to Mr. Mason, and he filled out the application, so he's now seeking after-the-fact approval on said fence installation. We do find from a zoning perspective that this is in compliance with the zoning ordinance.
Mr. Mason, did you hear that?
Yes, I did, yeah.
Okay, you were a bad boy. You do know that. You do know that.
I do know that, yeah. I was not aware that it needed, the certificate of appropriateness.
Right.
They needed approval, but that was, back in the pandemic, and, I reached out a couple times to the zoning administrator back then, and I didn't get any response, and, so I pulled a survey and I did, followed the town rules, but yeah, my apologies, I was not aware that it needed the, review board's approval, so that's why I'm here, is to make things right, and seek your approval. So my apologies for that.
That's no problem. As long as you apologize and you get the right permits and pay the right amount of money, you're forgiven.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Now can we move on to the roof?
You need a vote on this.
The
Any
what?
questions and a vote?
Do we have any questions? Or?
I have no questions. It's not expressly prohibited. We've approved similar things in the recent past.
Anybody else? Can we have a motion?
I will make a motion to approve the application for the fence as proposed.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
There you go. Your fence is approved and so ordered.
Okay, so then as we're on to the next item he is before us, which is for a replacement roof, moving from a metal shingle, a metal roof to a shingle roof. Thank you. There's the numbers.
Are you aware of your house next door to you? I'm sure you are, that has a metal roof similar to yours?
Yes, sir, Mr. Windles, yes.
Right, okay. His looks really good. I went there and looked at your roof, and I couldn't find any missing shingles.
No, so there aren't any missing shingles. So I actually hired Mike Reed and Taylor, who did Frank's roof. And yeah, Mr. Reed got started, and once his crew got up there, they just started noticing not only shingles lifted up, but from the inside, they're rusting from the inside. So while it kind of looks good from the outside, it's just there's a sheet of that old aluminum coating that's covering up rust. So Don Appenzeller actually is one of, I've had about 4 or 5 different companies come out and look at it, and they're all saying the same thing, which is there's a coating on top of it that's just simply covering up, rusted shingles. Someone, it got neglected at some point, and they're all saying the same thing, which is you're just every year, none of them could guarantee that they're going to be able to stop the leak. It's just going to continue to rust from the inside out, and every storm that blows through, is going to lift these old shingles. A lot of the staples they use to put them in the furring strips have rusted out. So, yeah, I've tried a bunch of different, Jeb Johnson, Scott Sims, a bunch of different contractors, and they've all recommended it's seen its life and it's time to replace it.
Okay, there's nothing in their guidelines that prohibits you from doing that. The guidelines say that you can replace it with composite shingles. So if you've explored that through many avenues, which you said you have, I think that we can approve it because but I couldn't find any from the outside. I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Okay, yeah, I'm not aware of any missing, but it's like I said, I have several buckets up there because especially these last 2 these winter storms that came through, I guess it was the ice that formed, have really popped the seams, and the leaks have gotten really bad. So I'm dumping those buckets,
Sure.
almost weekly now when it used to be monthly. So
Right. Is the contractor going to remove the metal?
yes, so Don Appenzeller is gonna do it. He's gonna remove everything. He's gonna sheathe it with plywood and wrap it. Yeah, and use those pewter gray. Actually, my neighbor across the street, Jim Drevis, did the same thing last spring. He had a slate roof, but same color, pewter gray, to try to make it match, at least in color.
Okay. Can we have any discussion?
No, I just think it was, I just thank you for actually going through the effort of actually having several contractors come and look. I thought that was actually pretty impressive.
Yeah. We do thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. I appreciate the time.
Okay. Now we'll forgive you for putting the fence up.
All right, thank you.
You need a vote now.
Now we'll vote. Okay.
Yep. Make a motion to approve as is.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. So ordered. Go ahead with your roof.
Thank you very much. I
You're more
appreciate
than
everyone's
welcome.
time tonight.
Thank you.
Yes. So the next one up is 541 Randolph Avenue, Captain Wagner, seeking a certificate of appropriateness to remove two small accessory structures and rebuild one larger 20 by 16 accessory structure.
Correct.
Hello, how y'all doing?
Good.
We have at 541 these two kind of old dilapidated sheds that we just want to take down just because they're falling down. And then the home next door to it we own as well, and we put a nice colonial barn in 3 years ago when we moved in
Correct.
and renovated, and it looks beautiful. And we just wanted to use the same, basically the same one as we put next door. It's a little bit bigger in this one because this is the house that we plan to move here and live in about 4 years. And we just wanted some extra room. And my wife sent over all the information, and it seems like she has complied with all the regulations and all that.
As we indicated in our report, it's in zoning compliance, both in its location, size, footprint, et cetera, on the lot itself. So from a zoning perspective, we would approve it. It's whatever you might have from an aesthetic perspective.
It's in the rear of the property, roughly exactly where the previous two were.
Yep, it's just kind of like, here's those two, and it's just a little bit,
Yeah.
there's actually a concrete
The
little thing.
slab a little bit bigger.
And it's the same as the one next door, and our houses are the two cottages that aren't historic, so.
Right.
they-
Are
it
you
look-
going to
it
mount it
matches.
on block foundation?
I'm sorry, sir?
Is it going to be on a block foundation?
It has they do a pier and then a block, and then, yeah, they're pretty ship-shape. I have a couple of them at Virginia Beach, and they've done the colonial barns. They do a real good job.
Oh, cool. Are you the,
I'm the owner, I won't build this yet.
oh, you're not
They're doing it.
manufacturing? Okay, cool.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, what's your name?
Billy Wagner.
Billy, thank you. I just didn't catch that.
Does anybody have any questions?
No.
Looks good to me.
All right, thank you.
Motion?
Make a motion to approve the application as proposed.
I have a second?
Seconded.
All in favor?
All right,
Aye.
Aye.
I appreciate it. Have a great day.
Turbo.
Our next one. 305 Mason Avenue is from Clelia Shepherd. She's seeking a certificate of appropriateness to install an awning on the side of the commercial building. The applicant is not present this evening. She made us aware that she was not going to be in attendance this evening. So we,
Hi there. I'm sorry. That's okay. I don't have any papers or anything formal. Hi, I'm Lenore DeBellis, and I'm going to be opening up one of the cafes that are on Strawberry Street that would be in line with that. So I'm here to represent, but I don't have any of the paperwork. I apologize.
You got 6 minutes? The only question I had, but one of my board members found the thing that I couldn't find, was the depth of, but it's going to continue the same depth as
Yes.
the existing ones on the
further down the street.
further down the street.
So how much it will overhang the street? And
The same as all the awnings that go all the way down, including Bo's buildings as well. They're all going to be consistent.
Okay, I couldn't find it,
So
but
it
it,
matches the height and the outreach of the
Height.
same ones for the retail, where
so it will
Correct.
be one continuous height then, out from the building, 4 feet?
Yep, that's the plan, that they're all, the only difference will be color.
Okay.
So-
What are you gonna,
No, go ahead.
what are you gonna do with the existing one that's half round?
That is getting replaced with a new one, but in the same style.
Same style?
Yep, that's not going to be connected to the two new ones they're seeking approval for.
Right, the one that's 50 feet long, is that gonna be continuous?
I would imagine so.
That's how she's pitched it.
Yeah,
That's her application, is one continuous.
Continuous.
continuous, but the same depth as all the rest.
The same height from the ground
Yes.
to the bottom peak of the awning?
Correct. Everything's going to be consistent with the other awnings down the entire street.
Okay, can we make a note that she has said it would be 4 feet off the wall?
Yes.
Because I couldn't find a dimension.
Yes, and we will make that amendment to her description and include that as part of her application.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Any discussion? Any other discussion? Martin?
I
I
just,
think with the 4-foot clarification, it should be fine.
I just have one note, since we have not had an application come before us relative to any potential openings on that side of the structure, because it sounds like you're gonna be doing a cafe in some component of this building.
Well, no, it's not, actually. It's already, the cafe has the awning that's already existing.
So you're gonna be using it as a cafe, not necessarily as the stage door entrance, so there's gonna be a restaurant capacity in the structure. And I say that to you just because if there's potentially going to be any considered outdoor seating, that would actually need to be applied for and approved by VDOT, anywhere on the sidewalk. So I just wanted to make you aware of that requirement.
Yeah, thank you. That was discussed, and it was said that it's actually determined by the owner of the street, and that VDOT does not own that portion of the street.
VDOT owns all the sidewalks. So
I'll let you, because it was brought up, and it was my understanding that VDOT said, nope, that's yours. You have to take care of that.
So as long as the town receives some approval as you're going through whatever permitting is gonna be required for the establishment.
Sure.
We just wanted to make you aware of that.
Sure, absolutely.
We don't want you to ever fail, believe it or not. We try to help everybody.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, your sidewalk's 15 feet wide too, from the building to the curb,
To the curb, yes.
okay? Anybody have any other questions, or may I have a motion, please?
Make a motion to approve the application as proposed, pending the additional notations from Katie.
Second?
Seconded?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Thank you so much.
Good luck with the new one.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay,
Okay, and our last one is 13 and 15
Nectarine.
Street.
You got 2 minutes.
I probably have the longest letter here for you
Oh,
guys,
no.
And they've read it all.
too. Okay.
I was at your place today, okay? And the only problem I have was the shutters,
Okay.
all right? And I'm sure Katie and I can, there's the guidelines that we go by, okay? This is kind of like the Bible for what we do. But then other people have been on the board, and we have precedents that are set, but other people have allowed our shutter quotation in here. And do you want to tell him what?
Go ahead, keep going, you're fine.
Okay. The shutters require to be wood and functional. Now, your shutters are existing, except for one window is one
Missing,
side
yeah.
is missing.
Just on the front. The sides actually don't have shutters.
Pardon me?
Just on the front, the sides don't have any shutters?
No.
Yeah,
Right.
We're only talking about the front.
yeah.
Okay. That they're not functioning shutters. The way you have your windows, none of the new windows are functional for shutters because there's a mechanism that goes inside and you pull the shutter shut and they lock. So we can't get you to make them work. There's hardware that goes on, and is it up to our discretion, or where are we here?
It's before you for your consideration, and if there's some modifications that you think should happen to their application, now is the time to state them and see if you get concurrence from the board and put it as part of your.
Okay, let me tell you, if you were to replace your shutters with wood shutters, they're about $750 a piece.
Fantastic.
And personally, I can't see anybody doing that.
Yeah.
But do we have permission to variance to vinyl shutters?
As this board, you can choose any reasonable deviation that you find appropriate from your guidelines. They are guidelines. They're not rigid standards.
Right. If the other members of the board would chime in, because my thinking is that as long as you want to replace the shutters, I think that's great. And I would stipulate that you don't have to have wooden shutters.
Well, that would
They
be
could
much
be
appreciated.
vinyl.
Yeah.
But a more stable thickness of vinyl, not the ones that you get that do
To
this.
Herb's point, there are different vinyl shutters. Some of them are really, really lightweight and
Right.
completely
Not the
fall
light-
apart really quickly. So it's not in your interest to use that because you'll end up having to replace them.
Or they warp super easy. I've seen those.
However, to Herb's point, in DC, I replaced mine with wood a few years ago.
Right.
And candidly, the wooden ones aren't as good as they used to be.
No, they're not,
Anyway,
right.
so they also fall apart and they cost a fortune. And actually, because they were designed to work, actually end up rattling half the time, etc. So I would agree with you, Herb. I would recommend.
They used to be, like I'm sure he can attest to, and so can Martin, wooden shutters were really built to be wooden shutters, and they were built to be functional.
They were the storm door of the
Right, exactly.
the window.
And
Yeah.
They did function. They had a functionality. Where the new ones, they're decorative and they look good, but like he just said, they're not the same. So if it's my pleasure, I would like to see you be able to do it, but not in a, like he said, not in a very thin vinyl, but a thicker vinyl that'll be substantial, and they may cost you more, a little more, but not $750 worth.
Right.
Yeah, it's 100 versus 50.
Yeah.
But it's well worth it to
Yeah.
get it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my questions were in a roundabout way similar to Herb's, where I had some questions about specific materials. You mentioned vinyl siding. Generally, that is not something we encourage. So we typically look for more details on the size of that, what you're using, so on and so forth. I think that would be the same case with the shutters and just some of the other stuff, some additional material.
Yeah, primarily, we usually have a sample, where you bring a sample,
Oh, an actual, yeah,
I mean, so that we can see the thickness.
Okay.
gotcha.
Okay, there's a,
Or a spec sheet that says that.
Or a spec sheet, yeah.
Because we have new guidelines being written, and Katie has a book on zoning. We have a book on guidelines. The guidelines and the zoning contradict each other.
Okay.
Her zoning allows vinyl siding, ours says no. So we compromise and allow vinyl siding, but the thicker vinyl siding that,
Do you have like a certain mill thickness that you prefer, or?
it's the thicker one.
Okay. Yeah.
The technical description.
We've approved it on, I think, 2 occasions.
Really?
In the past
Yeah.
6 months. We can get that number to you.
And honestly, we're not opposed to doing like a hardy board. Is that what you'd rather have,
I mean,
like a
it's very
cement
small
board?
section. It's just on that dormer.
Yeah, I know.
on the
Yeah.
top, Yeah.
So I mean, we certainly could switch to a different hardy, like 6-inch,
No, the vinyl siding is fine as long as you use the thicker
the
one.
thicker stuff? Okay.
Right, and it's also easier to work with than,
Yeah.
you know, we try to make it easy on everybody. People don't believe that, but we really do. Okay?
Okay.
So would you like them to come back with a spec sheet about the shutter
Yeah,
type that
could,
they would select?
would it be too much of an imposition to bring us back a cut sheet on the shutters that you, first of all, you gotta find them that you want,
Right,
and bring us a cut sheet on that and the vinyl siding.
okay.
Yeah, would that be pending like the next month's meeting, or
Could
would
we,
it be?
could we simply, I mean, if we're comfortable with everything else, approve and then make this conditional, this other aspect, so that
Sure.
we can kind of get moving
Yeah,
on
and
it?
you could,
Yes.
does he have to come back to the meeting, or could he just by the office?
Again, that you could give me authorization
Yes.
to submit it to me, and
Right.
if it meets our standards that we've
Right,
applied
which you
on
know.
other ones.
Right.
Yeah, I just don't remember off the top of my head. My brain's a little
No,
blank.
that's okay. No, if you could, this won't hold you up. If you take the cut sheets to Katie in the
Okay.
office, we're fine with that,
Okay.
Okay.
okay? As long as she'll do
So
it,
it's the shutters, the siding, anything else that you want to see.
shutters and siding.
Okay.
Now, there was one other thing that you had on there, and that's the step. And I think you are referring to the threshold for your door.
Step.
You have a concrete patio, or a concrete deck, and it says replace, and the way I read it was the threshold, but maybe not. You know where the door sweep is?
Yeah, no, and, we were gonna
Is that concrete also?
paint the,
Replace front door slabs, is that what
Yes,
oh, that would be the actual, the door,
the door frame?
the door slab itself.
Okay.
The frame would stay intact.
right, okay.
But just
at
the door.
bottom, there's a little piece of concrete, which is a threshold.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like it was concrete from the sidewalk.
It would be because it's, the double layer brick, so that would be that threshold there, but, because we'd be putting in a new door slab, we
Correct.
would probably put in something that would actually weatherproof, more of a rubber-based product for that,
Okay. I
on
just
top of
wanna-
that.
That was on your thing, and I want to make sure that you all understood what that was. Any questions? Martin,
No?
have a motion?
Make a motion to approve as presented, with the exception of the contingencies on additional details with the siding and
And the shutters.
Yeah, the cut sheets, if you would just provide them to Katie,
Okay, yeah,
okay?
Cool,
easy enough.
great.
Do we have a vote?
The, seconded?
All in favor?
Aye.
So on, you got it.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
We'll probably be back in a month or two, because we're gonna do a fence later and all that, but we'll,
Fence.
later.
Okay.
Thank you.
And before we lose our
Thank you.
quorum, if we can run back to the consent agenda, we have the format I don't care about at this point, but the minutes of November 16th and December 21st, if we can get a vote on those.
Could we, does
Motion to-
anybody
Motion to approve?
have any problem with the minutes?
I do not.
No, I read them, I couldn't find it. Can you?
Motion to approve?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Katie Nunez?
Yes.
Okay. My name is William Knight, and I'm here for information, more or less. Are you the chair of this committee?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, what's your name?
Herb, H-E-R-B, Tom, T-H-O-M.
Well, you ran for mayor one time, huh?
No, I ran for the town council 3 times. I can't break the glass ceiling. Sorry.
Spell your last name.
T-H-O-M.
I will note that we're about to lose our quorum. I think we've done all of our voting business for the evening, so thank you, Martin.
Thank you.
And then we'll go.
Good luck.
So,
Shut out 3 out of 4 games.
All right.
so we do have a few more conversational information items I need to share with you, as well as hear from the citizen if you so wish. So we
Yeah.
can do that.
So,
You just don't, you won't vote on anything else this evening.
Right.
Okay.
Mr. Tom,
Yes, sir.
could I have your contact phone number?
It's 757.
We can give that to you offline, just because we're on Facebook at this point in time, so
Offline?
we will share that information with you.
Okay, well, this is why,
That's all.
I keep it simple. I know I met with you a couple times, right?
If you
Regarding Jefferson.
I don't remember which property, sir, I'm
We
sorry to
talked,
say.
we talked about, grandfather clause and all that stuff,
A legal non-conforming property, it's possible.
right? And the historic, being in the historic district. So, and you don't have any interaction with Bay Creek, no?
Yes, I do.
Architecture?
I am the zoning administrator for the entire town. If it's relative to the architectural review committees associated within Bay Creek, that is a separate organization structure who oversees the aesthetic look of the homes that go in Bay Creek. I review it for zoning compliance with setbacks and layout and some other elements of the zoning ordinance. But in terms of the aesthetic look of it, that is overseen by the architectural review committee of Bay Creek.
Okay, can I provide you with my phone number and email address, or you wanna do it offline?
You can, I just don't think you would want this to have it broadcast on Facebook, because right now we're live recording on the internet. That's all I'm
No,
saying, is I don't think we want to share that personal
No, yeah,
information
okay,
to
no, I don't wanna do that.
all of our viewers.
Okay. Mrs. Tom, you're the president, the chair.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
We will get you his contact information as well, so.
So I have to stop down to City Hall and get,
Yes.
okay. My next question is accessory apartments in that location over there. Is that a permitted use?
Again, that's something we can discuss offline, because it really is not on the agenda and
All right.
business for tonight's meeting.
Okay.
So we can talk before I leave this building this evening, okay?
Okay,
Just won't be part of the
so you
normal.
want me to hang around? Or-
Yes, hang around for a few minutes. We're almost done.
All right, I'm easy.
Okay.
One of the suggestions real fast, for us that are elderly, when you guys get the photo mics, try to move in too close to them, because the acoustic is not that good here.
I know, we try hard, but we fail much of the time, I'm sorry to say. So we will continue to work harder to get closer to the microphones when we're speaking.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so I just wait.
Okay, so moving on, Mr. Chairman, if I may, under my administrative report, I did approve a few administrative items of minor exemptions of work in the department over the last month. Those are listed below for you. I did want to give you an update, a little bit of an update at 516 Randolph Avenue. I did approve a certificate of appropriateness change on their material and design of their deck railings from what you approved, and I do think it was in compliance with the intent and structure of that. Sorry, I can't remember this last one. So, most recently, we brought on Ken Buda, as an interim, not an interim, a part-time zoning compliance officer to help us do inspections and look at enforcement issues. And as part of that, I felt really strongly that it's not just approving these things, but somebody needs to go out and check and make sure they're getting installed and constructed and done the way we said they were supposed to. So that is part of his responsibilities as well. So with that said, you will now get, as part of your report, it shouldn't be this long as it was for this one, because he's been working at this for a couple months now.
Right.
We have included what certificates of appropriateness we are now calling closed. So I think it's important for us to keep on track of this and make sure that we are closing things down, and if they're still open and pending, is it progressing appropriately, or are there enforcement actions we should be pursuing and considering? So this is the first time you're seeing it. It'll get a lot smaller in future reports, but we hope this is well received by you.
I think it's a great job. I think it's something that we really needed to do, and you and Tracy needed some help.
Yes.
And he's done a fine job. My hat's off to him.
Yes. So the last item I wanted to do a quick update on is at 420 Randolph, which has been our violation project for the last few months.
Is it 424? I've got 424.
Sorry, 424. I got way too many of these, and again, when I wrote my report, it was not the best for me, but anyway.
That's okay.
So with that said, they have been communicating with both myself and the building official. They have supplied their engineering report to the building official. He has been in touch with them, and they should be securing their building permit to do the work necessary to secure it from his perspective and standpoint. So that's where we are so far at this point. I think they will be coming to the office this week to obtain that building permit to begin that work. Still within the time frame he allotted for that work to happen as well. We have not started them on step 2, which is what is the full plan and improvements that will be happening and getting an application ready for your consideration. So
How are we doing on our time schedule, our time
we are good.
line?
Right now, the biggest time commitment is with Mr. Brady and meeting his requirements, and that's what they are focused on, and we're
Okay.
hopeful that they will meet those requirements. So,
Okay, because we still have a clock running, though, correct?
I don't necessarily have a set clock from our perspective in terms of when they have to come forward with an application and a rehabilitation program for
But we
the
did
whole
have a
building.
clock for the engineering
We
reports.
had a clock for the engineering reports, and there's a clock to actually do the work to make the building safe and secure from a building perspective, from a
Correct.
building code perspective.
Okay, but
They
that
are
clock's
within
still
those-
running.
They are within those timeframes so far. That clock is still running, but we think they're going to meet those responsibilities.
Okay,
There is yeah, it's a clock, but it's not a firm or fixed clock for us.
right.
For when they
That-
have to get their application to us.
Correct.
We wanted to do step 1 first, and then I will work with them as to step 2, and when that needs to come forward for your approval and review, and when they can truly have a realistic timeframe for
Correct.
completion of any work that we approve.
Right, because we established, this is not a real clock, but it is a timeline.
Yes, they are right now still under a violation with our department.
Right, there you go.
Planning and
That's
zoning
what I was looking for.
For your
Right.
issues, yes.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And I think, just a reminder, we have the camp training next week, Wednesday, April 27th and 29th. We have arranged for us to have it here in this building. You can do it from home as well. But we wouldn't mind having the group come together in some capacity at some point if you're able to. So we are doing our best to get this training online. It will be available for 30 days afterwards as well as a recording. So if anybody should have to step away for a period of time or can't make all of the sessions, we will have it available electronically as well. That's it.
And there will be refreshments?
There will be refreshments.
I'm just checking.
Sausage rolls.
Tracy's in charge, so put your request in. And that is all I have on today's agenda.
Thank you very much. Did a good job, Katie.
Thank you.
And Tracy, as always. And Miss Connie, hello.
Libby.
Miss Libby, good job.